I stared at the marbles, those shimmering orbs of glass that held a world of wonder within their depths. They were my escape, my refuge from the dullness of everyday life. My fingers danced over the smooth, cool surface of each one, each a miniature universe waiting to be explored. But little did I know, one of those marbles would lead me to a place I could never have imagined. It was a hot summer day when it happened. The sun hung high in the sky, baking the asphalt beneath my feet as I knelt on the sidewalk, my marbles spread out before me. I selected my favorite, a deep blue one with swirls of white that seemed to move like wisps of smoke. I rolled it across the concrete, watching it spin and twirl, a miniature cyclone of color. But then it happened. The marble hit a small pebble, sending it veering off course and into the open mouth of a sewer pipe. Panic gripped me as I watched it disappear into the darkness below. That marble was special, and I couldn't bear to lose it. Without a second thought, I dropped to my knees and peered into the black abyss. I reached out to grab it, but my fingers barely brushed the surface before I lost my balance and tumbled forward. With a startled cry, I fell headfirst into the sewer, the world around me vanishing in an instant. I tumbled and slid, my heart pounding in my chest, until I came to a sudden stop, wedged in a narrow tunnel. Fear surged through me as I realized I was stuck. Panic set in, and I began to scream and cry for help, but my cries echoed back at me, a mocking reminder of my isolation. Hours passed and desperation turned to despair. I was alone, trapped in this dark, dank prison with no one to hear my cries. As the hours turned into days, I went through the 5 stages of grief. Denial came first, the irrational hope that this was all a dream and I would wake up any moment. But reality soon crushed that hope, and anger replaced it. I raged at the universe, at the marble that had led me here, at myself for being so careless. Bargaining followed, as I made promises to a higher power I didn't even believe in, begging for a way out. Depression settled in like a heavy fog, a suffocating weight that pressed down on me, sapping my strength. And then, finally, acceptance. I accepted my fate, resigned to the fact that I might never escape this dark, suffocating prison. It was in that moment of surrender that something changed, something deep within me. The darkness that had consumed me began to recede, replaced by a glimmer of hope, a spark of determination. I might be trapped, but I refused to let the sewer become my tomb. With newfound resolve, I started to plan my escape, determined to defy the odds and make it out of this nightmare alive. With a newfound determination, I began to assess my surroundings in the dim, eerie confines of the sewer. The damp walls were slick with grime, and the air was thick with an unpleasant odor. My hands felt raw and scraped from futile attempts to claw my way out. I knew I had to be resourceful. Desperation became my driving force, and I started to search for anything that could help me. My eyes adjusted to the darkness, and I spotted a rusty metal grate above, allowing a faint glimmer of outside light to penetrate. I reached for it, my fingers trembling with effort, but it wouldn't budge. Days turned into nights, and I continued to struggle, pushing my body to its limits in my relentless pursuit of freedom. Every inch of progress was a triumph, and every setback felt like a crushing defeat. I rationed the water from a small trickle that seeped through the sewer walls, and scavenged for scraps of food that had been discarded by rats or other creatures that called this place home. Time became a blur, and I lost all sense of day and night. In the midst of my ordeal, I began to hear faint, eerie sounds echoing through the tunnels, whispers and distant, otherworldly murmurs that sent shivers down my spine. I wasn't alone down here, and that knowledge filled me with a bone-deep dread. As the hours turned into days once again, I clung to my sanity, reciting stories, singing songs, and counting the seconds in a desperate attempt to stay connected to reality. I knew that if I lost my mind, I would lose any hope of escape. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, my relentless efforts paid off. The rusty grate above me creaked and groaned as I heaved with all my remaining strength. It shifted, letting in a thin stream of daylight. With renewed determination, I continued to push and pull until at last it gave way. Gasping for breath, I crawled out of the sewer, covered in filth and bruises, but alive. I had emerged from the abyss, forever changed by the horrors I had endured in that dark, dank place. The marble that had led me there was long gone, lost to the depths of the sewer, but I had found something within myself, a strength and resilience I never knew I possessed. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more stories. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me create more great content for you. Until next time.